Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're taking a look at the Heuer Calibre Heuer 1 Carrera chronograph. Now, first I'd like to remind you that we're here at JB Hudson Jewelers taking a look at this watch, and I'd also like to remind you that we'll be leaving links in the description to JB Hudson's website, to Heuer's website, specifically to the page for this watch, as well as to our channel store where we list our favorite watches and watch accessories. We highly encourage you to check this out, as any purchases made on there do support the channel. So, now, I'll move on to the individual watch. So this watch's case is quite unique. So obviously this is kind of a gold version of the traditional skeletonized Heuer Carrera chronograph, and this, the kind of materials that they use vary depending on the type or depending on the component of the watch that you're talking about. So anything black you see on this watch's case is titanium with a titanium carbide coating, and anything gold is solid rose gold. So the bezel here, as well as the lugs, are rose gold, and pretty much any other part is titanium with titanium carbide coating. And this is using TOG Heuer's modular manufacturing technique. It gives it a very modern look to this watch. I mean, this thing is just cool. Like, I'm not really big into shouty and loud watches, but I just love this. I mean, it just looks beautiful and mechanized and very kind of high tech, even though it's mechanical. So this watch has the Calibre Heuer 1 movement, which has a 50-hour power reserve, and that 50-hour power reserve is if you do not have the chronograph running. If you do have the chronograph running, it's got a 40-hour power reserve, but most people I know do not have it running continuously, so 50 hours is what you can usually expect to get, and this is above my 48-hour kind of preference, and I really like that. I mean, it makes it very usable for a daily wear piece, as well as if you had this watch in addition to other watches. You don't have to wind it every day if you want to use it. So now we'll demonstrate the chronograph function. So first I'll hit the top pusher, and as you can see, the chronograph hand just moves around the dial. And I will stop it again with the top pusher and reset with the bottom pusher. The pushers are very light, but they feel very nice and high quality when you use them. It gives it a nice satisfying click. So some other things I really like about this dial. Now, for the most part, it's obviously black or metal, because you can see the movement through the dial. It's skeletonized after all. But on the minute, chronograph minute, and chronograph hour registers, you have these, I'll zoom in here, you have these red arrows on the end of the hands, and I think that that looks very cool. So anything you have that's related to the chronograph, the hand will have a red indicator at the end. So for the chronograph seconds, which I just demonstrated, it also has this red line at the end of the hand. So I really like that. Also, this matches with the red ring around the chronograph start button, and I think that that looks very, very cool. So now I'll take a look at the movement, and the movement is, it obviously has this blackened rotor with a steel base plate on the movement. You can see that there's a little bit of Cote de Genève on that movement. I'll adjust the lighting there. So the finishing is fine. I mean, it's not obviously a Patek Philippe or anything like that, but it's passable, definitely for the price range. And given that this watch is gold, it's well above in price the other versions of this watch that use the same movement, so that's totally allowable. It is a column wheel chronograph. You can see that red column wheel right back here, and I will now try this on for a wrist shot. So the rubber strap, though, first I'll talk a little bit about that, is very comfortable on the wrist. The deployant clasp that it comes on is very useful as well. So I'll take off my glove and I'll try it on. Now the 45 millimeter case size is going to be large if you have a small wrist. There's no way of getting around that. I have about a 6.5 inch wrist in circumference, so that'll just kind of give you a reference point. But I think if you have anything really smaller than that, this watch is going to look a lot bigger on you than it would another person, and you should probably go with a smaller piece from TOG Heuer's collection if you like the style. So all in all, I think that this watch is extremely cool. Now, the price is a bit high at $12,600 retail, and frankly, I would go with the other version of this probably over the gold, even though I love the gold. The steel version / titanium version is about $5,000. So I think that that's probably the better value play, but again, I mean, if you have money to burn, this watch is an awesome choice, and it'll definitely get noticed. It's not a subtle watch by any means. So if you like this video, please remember to subscribe and share. And when you do subscribe, be sure to hit the bell on the side of the subscription button. Otherwise, you won't really see our content that we release on a weekly basis. We try to get a broad range of watches on our channel, and as you'll see in our video list. So definitely browse the channel and kind of look for the watches that you're interested in. Thanks for watching.